class. All right, so today I'm just gonna do a quick demo on how to print your matrix using this tiny little press. This gotta be the smallest press I've ever seen. So to do that, we need a press, we need ink and a roller. So notice that this roller is very well leveled. So it's very flat, so it's not going to get into all the crevices that you made. And we need ink for the printing. And of course, we need a support, which is going to be either this type of paper or this tiny little paper right here. So I already did a little test print and it turned out very, very salty. It's not great. So so notice all this kind of a texture that means that I didn't put enough ink, or I didn't give it enough pressure. But I think I didn't give enough ink, so I always kind of give less ink. So right now, let's try with new matrix. This is the one that I made last night for our online class. So first thing first, we're gonna open up the ink and then get some ink on this palette. Make sure that this doesn't get to your clothing. So if you plan on printing next class or something, don't wear any clothes that, don't wear your favorite shirts or anything like that. So I'm gonna give it a little bit more ink this time, so 3 scoops. Because last time I printed, that happened, so I don't want that. And using this roller, just make sure that the ink is applied to all this area evenly. So I'm gonna go around vertically, horizontally. Notice how sticky this ink is. So I'm gonna do that, but right now that's way too much ink. You guys can see all this texture, right? So I'm just gonna level it a little bit using like a flatter surface right there. Maybe a little bit more. And then I'm gonna apply to my matrix. So before you apply ink, make sure that you don't have any boogers on your matrix. So give it a nice wipe and just inspect it, visually to see if there is anything that is going to mess up your prints. So boogers here and there, and this should be good. All right. So let's ink it. That's way too much ink. Well, we'll see what happens. All right, just give it a nice layer of paint right there. Oh, they can't see. Oh. Stick it. Give it a nice even coat. I think I need a little bit more. Maybe my cuts are too shallow. So, for more ink, even it out using this surface right here. That's better. So you hear the sound, that sticking sound. That's what you want to achieve. And make sure that you get the corners right. That should be good. All right, so next is using the press. So you see this, there's a lever right here. And then we're just gonna pull it somewhere around here so that the roller is still pinching on this felt right here. And you'll see that there is felt, a little bit stiffer felt and then softer felt. That is to just kind of even it out, any kind of a discrepancy in pressure. So first we're gonna put it right over there. And before we get into printing, you always wanna do a test impression. Sorry. So last lecture we talked about what impression is. So impression is like a test print before using like an actual paper. So pre-making paper is actually really expensive, so we don't want to waste any kind of paper. So I'm just going to use this kind of a flimsy chip newsprint and gently put it over the your matrix linoleum, and then just give it a nice rub so that it sticks right there, and lower your soft felt and just kind of push it in until it kind of catches, the roller catches that linoleum, and that's I'm gonna give it a little bit more pressure, so quarter turn. Come on, there we go. After you roll it, let's see how it turned out. So let's take a look how it turned out. Oh, that's not bad. Okay, so come on. Maybe my cuts were too shallow, I think, or I put too much ink, but you can see that we were able to create a print using the press and the sink. So I think my cuts were too shallow and I put way too much ink, but you can kind of tell it still, right? So I should have used less ink and more pressure to get all that detail. So yeah, that is it. That is it on how you print with using this press. So let's try one more time. This time using the fancy paper. So well, I don't like that, so I'm just going to put it right over there. And this time we're going to use less print. So a little, bring it out. Even amount of paint across the, and always make sure that your press is level, the roller is. So this guy should be facing same way. Okay, this time we're going with the real paper, so I'm gonna put it right here. Then I grab one of these. This paper is way too tiny for this, but this is what we got. So make sure that you line it up perfectly. There you go. And what I like to do is use extra sheet of newsprint. So just this real quick, because I don't want any ink to get into this soft felt. So I'm gonna give it an extra sheet of newsprint right here, and then just to push it gently until it catches. And come on, too much pressure. So half quarter turn. There we go. Once it catches, I'm just going to give it a little bit of pressure. Oh yeah, there we go. And we'll take a look, see how it turned out. So this is just for come on. Oh, that's better than last time, right? So by using less ink and more pressure, oh, you guys have to see. Less ink, more pressure, I was able to get the more detail of my matrix, but I think I made the cuts too shallow, so that's one of the reasons why all this ink got into these little lines here and there. So that is it. So that's how you print. So once you are done with your matrix, just let me know so that I can just go through one more time on how to print your linoleum. All right, so make sure that your block doesn't have any boogers, because otherwise it's going to show on the. Daniel, are you also done? So can you just join us and just take a look at one more time? So make sure that your thing doesn't have any boogers in as well. That's good. Yeah. Alrighty. So let's get some ink. get more people. And then, yeah, do that horizontally like that. I think 2 scoop is good. Alright. Then use the roller to so that the ink goes. Yeah. Notice that it's very slippery now. So give it a one roll over here just to kind of even that ink out. Yeah, there you go. I see. Give it one. All right. And let's try applying on it. So just leave it like that, and then give it a nice, even rub. There you go. I think you need a little bit more ink because you want to get that kind of sticky action going on. There you go. There you go. Even it up. Make sure that you get the corners right. Give it a one. Because the corner is always what messes up. I think that's good. I think your cuts are quite thick. I did. So I say give it one more coat. With ink. Yeah. Right. All right, looking good. All right, so next we wanna put that thing over here, and let's put it up against right over there somewhere. Okay, and make sure to also. Yeah, we got one right. Oh yeah, you want this touch screen, right? Yeah. So here, let's put it center so that it goes on the center. Okay. There you go. Give it just a gentle rub, slightly. There you go. So that it sticks onto the surface. And then keep it that. And then start rolling. Good catch. Just go. There you go. All the way. Alrighty, let's take a look. Oh, that turned out nicely, alright? Okay. Oh no! Come on, stay there. Alrighty, so that's how you can print it. Yeah, newsprint. And now let's bring it over here, Matrix. Let's put that on your desk. So we know that the consistency that we want to get with the ink, right? So let's get more ink on the palette. So 2 scoop worked nicely. That's good. Good eye for catching that. I don't think I explained why I did that. That's good. Should be good. This time we're gonna apply slightly less because it's the second time we're applying onto this area. So. Should be good. Yeah. Let's say we give just a tail a little bit, right? Yeah. Alrighty. Alright, so let's repeat that. you want to pull that. You only want to print one direction, which don't know why, but people, because this roller is omnidirection, but most of the time it is not. So put that thing over there, and then let's use that paper. Make sure that you center it nicely, and make sure that your fingers are not dirty, so that you. There you go. There you go. But it's really hard because it's better to always do that and then wash your hand and do it. But this time I'm just gonna do it for you because Daniel is waiting. So you wanna center it really nicely. Yeah, there you go. Okay. One, and then. Because notice the paper is thicker than this one. I'm not using the U-Sprint because the paper is bigger than the matrix, so it's not gonna. So what you're gonna have to do is give it a little bit of a half quarter turn right here, and then roll that thing until it kind of catches. Did it catch it?
Yeah.
Give it a little bit more roll. There you go. And then once it's slightly catching on it, give it a little bit more pressure, and then. You feel that pressure, right? Yeah. There you go. All right, let's take a look. Let's do that. That's easier. Gently. Turned out good? All right, that's looking good. Alright, so that's how you can print. So after you print, what you want to do is you want to dry, and at the same time you want to mark it. So if you are going to print 5 of them, 1/5 inside.
Oh.
So that's edition. This is first edition of your signature saying that you're the artist. So there you go. That's your first edition. All right, Daniel. Do you feel confident after seeing that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.